Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Reactor, and this is Quinn, and today's article comes from Billboard.com and says, FBI releases Michael Jackson's files. So...
I saw photos of when they went in Michael Jackson's house a while ago, and it really didn't look that crazy to me. It just looked like it looked like a house of a person that collected a lot of stuff through their lifetime. You know, like Hollywood stuff, which is not going to look the same as people who just shop at the mall for their whole life. You know, they're going to have some weird stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Hollywood.
I mean, look at Jake Paul's house. You get money and you spend it.
Period.
Yeah. Police concerns that media-hungry terrorists would attack Michael Jackson's trial as a soft target led to a request for federal help, according to FBI files kept on the late pop star. The documents also show that the FBI helped facilitate interviews in the Philippines by California authorities investigating Jackson over allegations that he had sexually abused boys. I actually heard that it was all BS. Like, he never abused anyone.
I did not know that, but like the FBI was actually so hardcore to try to pin something on Jackson that they were interviewing people in the Philippines?
Helped facilitate interviews.
Oh, they helped facilitate, so they weren't there, but they were like setting up interviews.
I mean, nothing wrong with investigating him, you know.
I mean, there are probably so many people that you can investigate for like going to the Philippines to do questionable shit.
Filipino people?
I mean...
No. The FBI monitored Jackson for more than a decade, but the files contain no major revelations about his private life, and the Bureau apparently never developed any solid evidence against him. And it's sad because you ask anyone nowadays, they'll tell you that he did abuse boys.
Yeah, well, you know... It's
so
like,
sad.
It is, because
I
really still like Michael Jackson, and... yeah.
So, like, celebrities do some horrible things, and Michael Jackson never really did anything horrible to anyone.
No, like I said...
Well, I mean, he's accused of abusing boys, which would have been a horrible thing, but...
You know, but I mean...
In 2004, the Santa Maria Police Department in California asked for FBI involvement after Jackson was arrested for child molestation. Police, according to the FBI, said they believed the court case would be a soft target for terrorism because of the worldwide media coverage the trial would attract.
I just remember, like, seeing inside of his house, and it was like everything was scattered around, like a kid would like throw toys and
really? It was
all
a
over
mess?
the place. It was messy, but like the way like an 11-year-old or like 10-year-old kid would have a dirty room, you know, like, and it wasn't like weird stuff. It wasn't like, it was just weird toys.
He had like a horse in his bedroom.
It was just like stuff that normal people probably can't afford, and it's all jumbled together and looks kind of weird.
A Ferris wheel in his backyard.
That kind of stuff, yeah.
The FBI concluded there were no threats, but did note the presence in an early court appearance of the Nation of Islam, represented by its security unit Fruits of Islam, and of a new Black Panther Party member whose name was left blank in the files. Jackson used Nation of Islam bodyguards during the legal proceedings. Okay. Back in September 1993, an investigator from the Los Angeles Police Department and another from Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office arrived in Manila to speak to two former employees of Jackson's Neverland Ranch who claimed they saw the singer fondle young boys. Really? Huh.
That's messed
maybe
up,
he did, but it's my understanding that he's been cleared.
Right.
Their trip came after the LAPD had asked the FBI if it wanted to work a possible case against Jackson for transporting a minor across state lines for immoral purposes. The FBI checked with the U.S. Attorney's Office, which declined. The files say an FBI agent accompanied the California officials to the first interview to make sure there were no problems. How they flew across, like these two cops flew to the Philippines. It's a little weird. The documents dating from 1992 to 2005 were made public Tuesday, December 22nd, through a Freedom of Information Act request from the Associated Press and other media after Jackson's death June 25th at age 50. The FBI initially said it had about 600 pages in its files, but released 333 pages, citing privacy rules and the desire to protect investigative techniques. In March 2004, the Santa Barbara County District Attorney's Office reached out to the FBI seeking help in developing a strategy to prosecute Jackson for molesting a 13-year-old cancer survivor in the singer's home. Jackson was acquitted of all 14 counts against him in what was one of the most widely followed cases in history. The FBI reviewed case notes from local authorities and examined 16 computers from Jackson's home. Nothing notable was described as being found on the hard drives, though parts of the files are redacted. Tom Masiru, who was Jackson's lead defense attorney during his trial, said the FBI documents provide further proof the singer did nothing wrong. It does sound like they didn't find anything.
Right.
I mean, he is rich enough to clear everything out, though. He was not a criminal, and he was not a pedophile, Masiru said. The fact that so many agencies investigated him and couldn't find anything proves he was completely innocent. A message left for Ken Sunshine, a spokesman for the Jackson family, was not immediately returned. The Santa Barbara case was the most recent time the FBI was asked to investigate Jackson, but records show the agency had been looking at his alleged involvement with younger boys for more than a decade. Yeah, like since the 90s and stuff, right?
Right.
In September 1993, an FBI agent in London told colleagues in Los Angeles that the British press was reporting that a man was making allegations he had held a sexually charged phone call with Jackson in 1979. When the man was 13, Jackson was 20. Aside from asking the information he passed on to local authorities in Los Angeles, the FBI agent in London noted that no further action was being taken. FBI agent in London? Isn't FBI like stateside? CIA is international, FBI is national? I don't know, it's whatever. In October 1995, the U.S. Customs Service asked the FBI to review a VHS videotape labeled Michael Jackson's Neverland Favorites, an all-boy anthology, as part of a child pornography investigation. The recording was of such poor quality that investigators appeared to have been unable to determine what was on it. All-boys anthology?
It sounds like something like a 8-year-old kid would write on something, It's like it's not...
I mean, was it in his possession?
I truly feel that Michael Jackson was an awesome, overgrown kid that had a lot of toys and a lot of collectibles, who was really reclusive, who was always in the spotlight, and
probably really depressed,
and just wanted to live a normal life, whatever that means. But like being the biggest pop star in the world, it is probably not easy to do that.
Yeah. The files include death threats against Jackson, then President George H.W. Bush, and mob boss John Gotti that led to 1993 sentencing of Frank Paul Jones, who allegedly was obsessed with Janet Jackson, Michael's sister. The FBI includes an interview with an unidentified victim whose name is redacted, but presumably Michael Jackson, who states that he was aware of the threats and took them seriously. According to a 1992 Associated Press story, Jones was arrested June 22nd and held on $15,000 bail for investigation of trespassing in the driveway of the Jackson family compound in Encino, California. The following year, he was sentenced to 2 years in prison for mailing a threatening communication, according to a 1993 press report including the FBI files. 2018 Associated Press, blah, 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 rights reserved. Materials not published, records are read from... Yeah, so that's it for the article. But, it sounds to me like he was pretty innocent. Like, they didn't find anything. And there's actually a very big incentive to claiming you were abused by a celebrity,
Oh, definitely.
And that's part of the problem, If someone's wealthy, there is an incentive to lie about them, but it doesn't mean that they're innocent, So it's like
right.
You do have to, dig in there. And it seems to me that the FBI dug into it and found nothing. And it's kind of sad that, South Park, didn't they... Push the rumor that he was...
South Park was kind of making the joke that here's a black man that pretty much turned his skin white, yet they're still trying to come after this guy for being a rich black man.
Oh, yeah,
and that's kind of like what they're doing. Is like, here's this guy, he's done nothing wrong, and yet he's this big pop star, so like, let's take him down. He's got a little too much, right? Yeah,
and they're doing a lot of racist jokes in that, I remember.
Right.
Yeah, South Park's a pretty racist show.
It is.
But, I mean, not negatively racist. And not anymore. Now they stopped making jokes, so they don't do anything like that anymore.
Right.
But it's a really serious show now. Like they have to get away from jokes because of the PC culture and all that stuff.
Right.
So now they just make a bunch of PC characters, and it's kind of a chore to watch it.
Like, and it seems like
watching it.
They don't really know what direction to go at this point.
They're just confused and afraid to make jokes.
Who should we cater to? Right.
And then they were even talking about getting rid of Apu from The Simpsons. Like they one of the recent episodes, they were saying they were getting rid of their turd character, Mr. Hanky. Which, yeah, sure, get rid of it. It's not offensive though. It's just a stupid character.
Right.
It's not very funny. Maybe when I was 13 years old, I would have laughed at a Pooh character.
Right.
But yeah, they should have never compared him to Apu. Apu is a successful businessman. I mean, I know we did a video on this, but
right.
But still, South Park is garbage.
Agreed.
but I do try watching them because I have my fingers crossed. One day they'll be great again. You know, make South Park great again.
Right.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to say? Yeah. So that's it for the article. If you ask me, Michael Jackson is a great guy who was really. It's a tragic story, really, a sad life, you know, and then he died with everyone thinking he's a child molester. Like, oh, that's so horrible.
Some people. I definitely don't.
Yeah.
I definitely
But
don't.
yeah, if you ask me, he's innocent. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, let us know by giving it a thumbs up. What do you think? Was Michael Jackson guilty, innocent? Especially after this article came out. You know, what do you think? Check out the link in the description for our Patreon if you want to help us, and thanks for watching.